I'm Abe Newman. I'm a professor at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and I am the Richard C. Holbrooke Fellow this year at the American Academy. I'm interested in the transformation that's happening right now with globalization and how what I think of is it's been weaponized. And what do I mean by that is that, there's this caricature that the world is flat, that globalization really decentered power. But if you look at what's been happening, whether it's with the US and China, Europe and Russia, or even the United States and Iran, in all of these cases, those networks of globalization are being used for coercion to basically strike out at adversaries, and it's upending the game. And in this semester, while I'm here, I want to research how Europe's responding, because I think Europe in particular hasn't really thought of globalization in this way, and I'm worried they're not really prepared. There are these global economic networks. You can roughly break them up into, there's the ones for communication, like the internet. There's ones for finance. So you think about global banking or supply chains, how goods are being produced. And in all of these cases, we see them increasingly being used for coercion. So if you think about the Snowden affair that happened, about a decade ago, if you think about something that's called secondary sanctions, where banks are basically being used to put pressure on countries, or supply chains. The big thing is right now is about semiconductors and export controls. So now I want to think about how do the targets of the US, how do they respond? And in Europe, I think Europe really, for a long time, just couldn't even imagine that the United States would ever do something that would kind of violate its interests and that would push it around. COVID and recent interactions with China have made these issues even more relevant for Europe and kind of focused them on the fact that they had been, I would say, a little bit naive about what globalization was, and that it was primarily about making money and wealth, but it's also about dependence and power. And so Europe is now kind of trying to turn its head to those questions.